From KMUW Wichita,
from Toronto, Ontario,
and from Armilla, Spain,
this is You're Saying It Wrong. Let's talk words. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Ross. I'm looking forward to just wrapping up our little talk about eponyms that we started last week. And the reason is that I genuinely love eponyms. Have you heard this word? Have you heard this word?
No, but it's named after someone, isn't it? I'm just guessing.
It is not, actually. It is not. But it is a word that I came across, and it sounds like this is actually a pretty recent word. Usually I'm coming across these words about 2 years or 5 years into their existence. But this one looks like it came around in late 2025, logenuinely. Can you imagine what this might mean? It might be easier if you saw it written. Lokenuinely.
Oh, I know what it means. I just realized it now.
What?
Well, it has low key, I bet.
Low key and combined with genuinely.
So it's like sort of kind of mildly.
You're not going overboard in your enthusiasm for it, but you genuinely like it or hate it or whatever it is.
It's a portmanteau.
It is, and it's using this term low key that has become more popular, over the last 5 or 6 years. Like I low key hate that, or I low key love that. Like it's not super intense, but right. And so I guess it's gotten really popular on TikTok, but I saw it the other day somewhere or another, and I was like, "What in the world is this?" So I looked it up on Urban Dictionary, and the earliest entry I could find was from November of last year. So it looks like it's a pretty recent word.
It does. It's in Merriam-Webster now too. I'm just looking at it.
They have.
Yeah, and they're saying, Fletcher, you're right. It emerged on TikTok in late 2025. Huh.
Yeah.
You're so modern, Fletcher.
I know.
I felt really good about that because, like I said, I'm usually not seeing these things for a very long time, and then all of a sudden, they're already on their way out when I learn about them. Yeah. And maybe this is too. Who knows? Things move quickly, but. Logenuinely. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it, just because it seems kind of unwieldy. It seems like I feel like it's you're kind of twisting yourself in knots a little bit just to say this.
I don't think it's going to last for that reason. It's too,
no.
Yeah. Logenuinely. I mean, logenuinely. It's like I just said
it's even harder to write, actually, to me, because it's like my fingers don't want to do that. It's like, no, it's wrong. It's wrong.
Anyway, I just thought it was fun.
Logenuinely. It's hard to say. Logenuinely. Because that part gets you kind of. Maybe it'll go back to low Kenley or something. I don't know.
Maybe that. I mean, or we may just revert back to low key, which seems to work fine.
Yeah.
Continually. No, I can't say it. No, I can't do it. I'm too old.
I'm sort of twist your logenuinely. Yeah, no.
But it's sort of fun to say logenuinely.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, so last week we were talking about eponyms, things that get their. The word is derived from the name of a person. So we mentioned, what did we mention last week? Mausoleum. Nachos. That from a guy named Ignacio. What was his last name? Do you remember?
I started with an AY.
Ignacio. It was Ignacio Anaya.
That was it.
Ignacio Anaya, Nacho, and then mausoleum from a Greek guy named Mausoleus or something. Mausolus. That one I missed. So we're going to wrap that up with a few more here at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, we thought we'd finish it off quickly. And we have a number here. And the two right now we have to contrast them is flunky, like a servant, or paparazzi, which is a society photographer.
Right. And you're asking me which one is
which one is the
eponym?
eponym? Right.
I think paparazzi. I think doesn't that come from a Fellini movie?
Yep.
Well, it was in La Dolce Vita. Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that was a person, right? Wasn't it?
Okay, this is sort of a cheat. We did this one, but you're right. It did appear in the film La Dolce Vita by Fellini, but it was already a surname, and he apparently took the name which he found in an opera libretto, and then they saw it. Another guy says, well, they saw it. They were reading a travel log, and they read about the name, and then he threw it into the film. So it's sort of a name, sort of an eponym, sort of.
Yeah,
it's an eponym. It's just not a real person. It's
a modified
eponym.
limited eponym.
Okay.
Modified limited. What? And so flunky is just somebody who's, I mean, like that seems pretty obvious, right? Just somebody who flunks things, who screws things up.
A cringing flatterer. It's really like a sort of like
flatterer.
servile sort of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although
it
came from the Scottish dialect, flunky meaning a servant.
Yes.
Okay.
It was it was just a footman, and then it got like more kind of like a flunky being like he's just a flunky. He's like a nothing.
Yeah. I like Carlisle in it had flunkyhood as well, which I sort of like. Flunkyhood.
And flunkyism.
And
flunky sort of like low key. No, I can't even remember. See,
I can't say it again. Low-kenually, yeah, low key, yeah, something like that.
Anyhow. Okay, the next duo: galvanize or gargoyle. Galvanize or gargoyle.
That's funny. So just because I read something doesn't mean it's true. But I think I just read the other day that gargoyle is actually more like an onomatopoeia, like it comes from the gargle, which is the sound that the water would make coming out of the gargoyle. So I'm going to go with galvanize. I don't know who Galvan might have been, but that's what I'm going with.
Very good. Yeah, it came from Luigi Galvani, who was a professor of anatomy at Bologna, and he discovered it in the late 1700s when he ran currents through the legs of dead frogs.
Well,
they were stimulated. But you're right, gargoyle does come from the French gargouille. How do you pronounce that, Ross?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was I think but I think it actually I was looking it up right now. Gagui, I can't pronounce it though. Yeah, but I think it comes backwards, of course, into Latin.
Yeah,
Gargulio. Yeah,
which means gargle.
Yes,
gargle. Okay, yeah.
Okay, next is zucchini or jacuzzi. We picked two. I like that juxtaposition. We were both really happy with that one.
That's great. I mean, it's wow. So in this case, you've got somebody grew something and named it after themselves or their friend, and you've got somebody made a product and named it after themselves. I want to say zucchini because I like that better as a person's name. But jacuzzi easily could be a name, although it sounds like a made-up name. I'm going with zucchini.
Wrong. In this case, that was a good guess. Are you proud, Kathy? We put zucchini, and I'm so happy with that. But zucchini is a diminutive of zucca, which is gourd or squash, coming from Latin cucutia, which they have no idea where it came from. Okay. The Jacuzzis were an immigrant Italian family of inventors, and they basically came to the States in 1915. 7 brothers had a company. And apparently back in Italy, the name was Jacuzzi, but they changed it to J because of Ellis Island or whatever. And it was interesting because they originally did aviation products, cabins for transporting mail in planes. But one of their brothers was killed in a plane crash, so they switched over to water pumps. And then they invented the hot tub for hydrotherapy. And they trademarked it. Isn't that cool?
Wow. Yes.
Well, I also like the fact that they invented it. It was one of the brothers, Candido, and it was because his son had rheumatic arthritis.
Yeah.
So it was like one of those things where he was trying to come up with something to help his son.
Yeah.
And the jacuzzi was born.
I didn't realize it was so recent. 1952 it was patented. I didn't realize that. Relatively recent, but
Yeah.
You know, when would you really think of jacuzzis are older than that?
Well, if they came in 1915, I thought they would do it in like I don't know. Actually, you're right. Like 1938. I don't know. You're right. I would have thought it was 10 years, 15 years earlier. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Okay, next we're going to do clothing items. The two
Okay.
words are leotard or gabardine.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't have a good reason for either one, but I'm going to go with leotard. Gabardine sounds like it's descriptive of something, not named after a person.
Very good. Yeah, leotard was invented by the French acrobat Jules Leotard
Uh-huh. Okay.
in the 19th century to, so he could do his stuff on the trapeze and so forth. And they were initially called maillots, which I knew was a one-piece bathing suit. Like in the
Mm.
70s, that was a big thing, maillots coming from France. But then after Jules died, people started calling them leotards, and his name lives forever in the dance world and the acrobatic world.
But Fletcher, on this one, I have a question for you. Do you
Yeah.
know what gabardine is?
No, I
I
don't know
mean,
what gabard would be.
no, but I'm not saying that. Do you know what the
Oh,
term is?
no, I also don't know what that
No,
is.
because
No.
I don't either. Kath, I'm sure you knew it instantly, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
It reminds me of German chocolate cake with my wife, who's like, the cook type thing. Kath likes clothes, but I mean, I knew gabardine is some sort of fabric, is what I knew only. That's
Mm.
all I would know. Was that with you, Fletcher, the same way?
No, if you had asked me what gabardine was, I would have said it was like some kind of adornment you put on a cake, or it was some kind of
Oh,
turban.
No,
I was a little closer than you, but not
you were
much.
Ross. No, it's a fabric, and it was Burberry coats. I mean, we were talking to the BBC before, Burberry coats and stuff.
Mhm.
Thomas Burberry invented it. It was a weave. It's a very tight weave, and that's why
Hmm.
like trench coats and stuff were made of gabardine.
Hmm.
It's
But it came
interesting.
from Go Ross.
I didn't know that Burberry part. That's interesting too.
Yeah, yeah. And Burberry's been around forever. I mean, so to
Yeah.
speak. That's why, I mean, it's still a big name, but you do refer to Burberry coats and stuff, which is not really an eponym, but it's just a descriptive thing.
Do they still like really talk about gabardine, Kath, and clothing or not? Just
Well,
curiously.
it's not like it's talked about all the time. It's just it's there. You do still talk about Burberry coats though and stuff, which are
But do you
made
go
of
like, I'd
gabardine.
like to have a gabardine
But you
clothing
don't
or
really
not?
say anything like that. I mean,
Well, you
really.
say like leotard, I want to buy a leotard.
Yeah,
So
but you
now
don't say
do I go like, I want to buy a gabardine coat? Would you say or
You
not?
could, but I mean, like you could say, I want a velour shirt, but you usually just say, I want
A
that.
coat. Okay.
Yeah. As opposed to the leotard, which would give you looks if you're walking down the street.
Okay, now we're going to move to one which has a little bit of a sad thing in it, but salmonella
Mhm.
or tilapia. That's a good juxtaposition too.
Wow. Salmonella. We've talked about salmonella, but I can't remember. It sure doesn't feel like that had anything to do with a person. I guess I'll go with tilapia. I don't know where the name tilapia comes from, although I do suspect that it used to be called something else and it was rebranded. Tell me about tilapia.
Okay, tilapia comes from, you're wrong. It's
Okay.
salmonella,
It's
first of all.
salmonella. Okay.
Tilapia comes from 1849, formed in modern Latin, but possibly from the Greek, tilon, which is the name of a fish in
Hmm.
Aristotle, and apios is distant. So it's distant fish because it's from Africa, and the guys who were naming it were in Europe.
Okay.
So, and
This
salmonella.
is sad.
I know, I felt so sorry for this when we read this. Salmonella comes, we're going to say, a pathologist, Theobald Smith, isolated the salmonella bacteria in pigs suffering from hog cholera.
That's not the
And
sad part.
no, well, for the pig it is, but
Yeah,
whatever.
well,
And Smith identified the bacteria for food poisoning, which was that was causing the hog problem. But his limelight grabbing supervisor, Daniel E. Salmon,
Oh,
insisted on
wow.
taking the credit for the discovery, and it was named after him. However, before we feel too sorry for Theobald, he apparently soon emerged from Salmon's shadow, and he went on to make an important discovery that ticks could be a vector in the spread of disease. So he got his name. So he did okay after all.
Which is why we talk about Lyme disease, because of Theobald Smith, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Named after
but named after Lyme and not Smith again. I hope someone
named after the key lime pie Smith liked to eat, but spelled differently.
But he was like apparently widely considered to be America's first internationally significant medical research scientist. So he did okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that actually. That he was the inspector of the Bureau of Animal Industry in the States. So he did okay.
I just think Daniel Salmon was a pig. No pun intended, but I mean, really?
I know. I hate when scientists do that, but I never had a problem because I never was a scientist.
Okay, finally. You go on,
keep
Ross.
talking. No, I'm looking up Daniel Salmon.
This is the last couplet. We're going out with a little musical fanfare. The two words are saxophone or castanet.
Well, I already know all about Adolf Sax. So
okay. That was like we're ending with a thud.
No, yeah, I definitely saxophone is named after Adolf Sax, who invented a number of different instruments, but really the saxophone is the only one that took, I think.
Why do you know about Adolf Sax?
Well, a lot of reasons, but I used to play the saxophone, so.
Cool.
I wish we had known that. Yeah.
Yeah, we would never. Did you know that his father invented the sax horn, which was not quite as popular?
Yes. Well, I didn't know it was his father. I thought it was the same guy who invented all of those things.
No, Dad invented the sax horn.
What is the sax horn? What's the? I mean, Fletcher, do you know?
No, I think it's just a weird looking horn. I don't assume that it's also a reed brass mashup like the saxophone is.
Ross is looking it up.
No. Yeah, I can't find it though. So.
It's a valved brass instrument that has a conical.
I want to see a picture of it though.
It looks kind of like a French horn, actually.
Yeah,
so Dad wasn't nearly as inventive as Adolf was.
No, but now other places are saying that it was Adolf who did it.
Oh, okay.
So who knows? It's either Dad or Adolf.
Yeah, but it does look like it does look like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But let's move on.
Okay, Fletcher, we're going to talk about something that I'm sure you're like constantly talking about over the dinner table. Phonotactics. Okay.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The dinner table being the table that I sit at with my 2-year-old and my 4-year-old.
Yeah, right? I think it's never too early to start.
Phonotactics all the time.
Yes, never too early to start. Actually, though, it does really relate to your children, though, oddly enough. We're going to talk about rules that you know in English, almost from the very beginning, that you don't know, rules that you instinctively know, but that you don't know you know. Okay.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I always love those.
I mean, now that you say that, that is what I see and hear every day from those kids.
You bet.
Is them following the rules or building around those rules and maybe sometimes breaking them, but you can see how they are forming those rules, within their own language, even though I never, of course, explicitly told them the rule.
Right. I don't think you did tell them. Listen, son, phonotactically, you're wrong on pronunciation B. No. But we're going to do a little quiz for you now.
I've given him a list of 9 strings of sounds, Ross.
Good. And they're written in English orthography. I'll tell you how to pronounce them. Just read them off and we'll pronounce them. First, we're going to look at these sounds, okay? And we're going to then test you on them. Just read them down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go.
Okay. And I'm just going to read these. Basically, they're collections of letters. These aren't actual words that we would know.
And we're going to ask you to put them in order in a minute, in the order that you think sounds most like English. In effect, we're going to ask you, according to these rules that I know already, this sounds like it could be English. This sounds like it isn't English. We're talking about Lewis Carroll, 'twas brillig and the slithy toes, did Gyron gimble in the wave. Remember that? And those were words that sounded kind of like they could be English. Okay?
Okay.
But start with just pronouncing them.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say these. They're going to sound like nonsense, but I'm going to say these 7 sounds out loud.
Right.
Okay. Timp, rog, mbato, flezg, spink, be, bod.
Sore.
Oh, are there more?
Oh,
One
yeah,
more.
there was one more.
Sorry, I didn't know.
P-S-O-R-E.
Yeah, let me say that last one. And the last one, I guess you'd probably. I'm just going to say the sound as the letters are there. Sore.
Right.
It's P-S-O-R-E. So
Right.
you know, if we saw it, we'd say sore probably. But
right.
Okay.
But it should be pronounced sore in this case. Right now, we're doing
right.
it.
Okay.
And
Okay,
then
now
Flezix is. Oh, sorry. Flezix
Go on,
is
Ross.
written. I just wanted to say because we can't see it. We can't. People aren't. They're not seeing the words as written. Mbato is M-B-O-T-T-O, and Flezix is F-L-E-Z-K. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Beh was B-E-H. Now.
Right.
Okay. Now what Ross said is put them in order as to which sounds the most like a regular English word to the least.
That you could reasonably say, oh, this could be incorporated into English easily, and it could become a word. No problem.
Sure. By how they sound, not necessarily by how they look.
Well, how they look and sound. Just put them in order.
Okay. All right, I'll put them in order. Bod, and that one's easy because we already kind of say bod.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So bod, timp, spink, rog. Next would probably be be, then probably flezic.
Okay.
Mbato, and Psor.
Fletcher, it's really interesting.
Wow.
We have the typical ranking. These linguists they grabbed 40 English speakers and asked them to do a similar list. Mm-hmm. Bod was the clear winner, 4.66. Mm-hmm. Timp was next, 4.30. Mm-hmm. Rog was 4.2. Spink was 4.17.
Okay,
then
so
there's
pretty close there on. I had Rog and Spink switch.
Yeah, but they're still so close. That doesn't, you know. And then
in terms of ranking, we get a real problem. Suddenly the numbers collapse. Beh is 2.75. Psor is 2.02. Flezix is 1.69. And Bato averaged 1.07.
And that's where you were very different because you had Beh, but they had Psor, Flezic, and Bato. You had Flezic and Bato, Psor.
That's right. Well, I think Psor is just real weird. We don't have that really at the beginning of anything.
No.
I
agree. I think Flezic is better than Psor, certainly.
Yeah.
This is a really weird conversation already. Psor. That could be in Greek easily, though. Psor could be very easily. The PS is Greek. We already know it with...
Sure, but we just don't say that.
No, we don't.
We don't.
And that's what we have to talk about quickly here, because I just said they're in Greek, but we're talking about English sounds. We do know, we do take in some of these sounds. Like Kathy mentioned, we were talking about this. What about czar? TS or CZ, okay, that's fine, but those are foreign words into English. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the question we have now is, why do Timp, Rog, Spink get higher scores than Mbato? Well, why, Fletcher?
Well, I mean, they don't have two consonants next to each other that we don't typically have at the beginning of words, especially.
You've got it. Those are phonotactic rules that you know without
being aware.
Yeah.
Without even knowing that there's a word like phonotactic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's wild. Wow.
It's interesting because one of the articles we're looking at was using Scrabble as an example of how it works. And I must say, as an avid Scrabble player, my husband and I are addicted to Scrabble. It's true because when you look at your letters, the first thing you do is start arranging them the way you think they would work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like if you've got a G and I in there, you usually put ing down and see if you can do something with the other stuff. And we're playing Scrabble in Spanish now, and I'm having problems because I don't think in Spanish. So I don't have that automatic, these letters would be something.
Wow, that's really interesting, Kat. Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah, it's just not an automatic thing where I go, of course, these three letters. D-G-E, for example.
You haven't absorbed the phonotactics of Spanish.
I have not.
Yeah. So we're going to quickly go through a few rules, Fletcher. We're not going to go on and on. But basically, when you get these consonant sounds that we had in English and the vowel sounds in English, you have, I think it's 74,909,241,375 possible, basically 75 billion possible sounds.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And we know very well that we cannot repeat 75 billion sounds.
Well, I
in
was
English.
going to say, I think we should ask Fletcher to attempt that right now, Ross.
That's a really good point, Kat. Okay, let's go through a couple of rules that you know but you don't know you know them. The first phonotactic rule number 1 is all phonological words must contain at least one syllable, and hence must contain at least one vowel. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we have vowels in there. Okay. Kath, do you want to do phonotactic rule number 2?
You know what?
Rule
You know
number
what,
2,
though?
what?
I will tell you, sometimes you'll be doing a crossword puzzle and then the answer will be TISK. TSK, right?
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not exactly.
Or,
But the vowel sound is
HMM.
that's right. Oh, good.
Yeah. But those aren't technically words. Those are onomatopoeia, which are sounds.
Right.
They're not.
Okay.
So they don't violate phonotactic rule number 1.
Now, phonotactic rule number 2, sequences of repeated consonants, i.e. more than 2 consonants, are not possible. You don't have SSSSS in a word.
Except
you do have that. Thank you, Ross.
Yes.
But you have hiss, HISS, but you do not have hiss, HISSS.
Right.
So not more than 2 of the same consonant back to back.
Repeated, correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so now using these 2 phonotactic rules, we're down to only 60 billion possible sounds.
Well, we're getting good,
out
Ross.
of there. Get him out of there.
Okay, now Fletcher, I'm sure this is going to jump in. I'm sure this already jumped into your head. The velar nasal never occurs at the onset of a syllable. You know that is phonotactic rule number 3, I'm sure already.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah. Moving on.
Okay, yeah. Okay, but that translates into regular English, which you do know this rule. No NGs as an ing at the beginning of a word.
Oh, in English words. Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, because you immediately think of Vietnamese.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Which isn't pronounced like that either, which is weird, but we won't go there. I'm not quite sure of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Phonotactic rule number 4, similar, but the end. No H's are pronounced at the end of the word. Or as Ross would have said, the glottal fricative H never occurs in the coda of a syllable.
Oh,
I say that all the time.
Yes.
And I'm sure Fletcher's kids talk about this at dinner, no?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
no,
Syllabic codas are very, very important.
No, but it's like, so you do have an H at the end of the word, like ba or, huh, but you don't pronounce it like you do in hut or hat.
Okay, so we're going to do another couple of phonotactic rules before we all die, but we have a lot. No TS's or DZ's starting a word. You mentioned tisk, but tisk really isn't the TS sound. It's written that way, but it's really TISK is pronounced.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not tisk like that. We can't do it. So
yeah, and the TS you mentioned with czar, but of course that's not an English word.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Catherine, you want to chuck in phonotactic rule next one?
The first consonant in a 2-consonant, that I'm going to make it like plain English. The first consonant, when you have 2 consonants like the C sound and CL, clock, or the B sound and BL, it's called an obstruent. It obstructs airflow. So you hear it blah, cla, like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the rule? Must be an obstruent.
Oh, it must be an obstruent.
Yeah.
I didn't say the must.
Yeah,
I said it is an obstruent. Sorry. No. I was busy going blah and cla.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about that one?
An obstruent?
Yeah, it's not totally clear to me. I mean, I understand the blocking sound thing, but
try to just pronounce buh. Okay, obstruents, they're contrast with sonorants, which they resonate. They go kind of right through. Sonorants can be vowels as well as consonants. Obstruments would be like plosives, which are oral stops like pa and ba, and like you're closing your vocal tract. Or it can be fricatives with limited closure like sa and za, slightly cuff.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
affricatives, which are complete occlusion, then release, like tsa and za.
Isn't it Africates?
Affricates, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, affricate, right. I'm
It's
sorry.
not an
right,
affricative.
yeah.
Sorry, I
No.
apologize.
Affricates, yes. Okay, do you hear it now?
Sorta.
Below, pla, closing the track. Fricative, sa, za, limited closure. Affricates, sa, za.
So you're saying sorry, hold on. You're saying it has to be the obstruction one if you've got two consonants at the beginning?
If you have two consonants, the first one has to be yes.
Mm-hmm.
So basically you're going with P, B, S, say, it's Z sounds.
Yeah.
These are getting harder for me to
They are.
totally
I don't think
wrap my head around.
They
we
get
don't
very
need to go through.
complicated.
But the key thing really is, well, the bottom line is after we go through all of these, glides, fricatives, etc., we get down to literally only 6,600,000 possible combinations. That's a lot, but that's a lot less than whatever many billions.
75 billion, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible.
75 billion, yeah.
And the most interesting part of this whole thing, we could go on and there are literally a bunch more phonotactic rules with all thises and that's, and I don't think we need to go into it. It's not even that important. The key thing is in your head, you and everyone else they surveyed basically put these words in roughly the same order. I mean, we could argue is psor and embato, which is, but the key thing is you guys, all of you got the whole idea. Certain words we had certain words that are obviously Englishy and they sound okay. And then certain words that are obviously not Englishy and they sound awful. They don't sound like they're English. And we all know this.
Without knowing that we know.
Without knowing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like you said, we are all going to put those in roughly the same order. Right. But once we get down to the ones that really don't have any relation to English sounds, that's when things are really going to probably start switching around for people because, I mean, you're just kind of picking.
Yeah, you're just guessing.
Yeah, it's like what you feel more comfortable with for some reason. Yeah. Like you didn't feel comfortable with psor.
Yeah.
Right. So a question I have that you may not know the answer to. Do you know what language has the most possible sounds and what has the fewest?
Well, as Kathy talks, I'm looking it up. So
I've already typed it, Ross.
Yeah. I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Okay.
What language has the most possible sounds? Let's look it up. I don't know. It's a really good question.
I just did.
Yes. The Ta language.
Formerly called Southern Khoisan. Yeah. It's in
has
Botswana
the most
and Namibia.
Distinctive, but we don't know. Yeah. It's highest sound inventory, they say here, which is interesting. Wow. But we don't really know that because that's like the sound inventory that they have with words that they already have. We're talking here about possible sound inventory. So I'm not really sure that's even correct, Kath.
Okay, and here I've got, excuse me, I'm getting choked up by this. Those phonotactics get me every time. The language generally recognized by linguists with the smallest sound inventory is Rotakus, a Papuan language spoken in Papua New Guinea.
Oh, of course.
Only 11 phonemes, 6 consonants, and 5 vowels.
Oh, we should have known that, of course. What am I talking about? Of course.
Silly you, Ross.
But going back to the one thing that really gets me the most about this is that right now, at your dinner table, your young children know probably most of these rules already. And isn't that incredible, really?
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
That is incredible. Mm-hmm. You could talk about plosives and all that, and they'll have no idea, but they know the rules.
Yep.
And
even when they're making up words, and I mean, of course, kids that age make up words, just because kids that age make up everything. But even when they're making up words, they're not making up psor.
No, they're not.
No. They know the rules already. And that interested me just recently. There was this article done, which it's a long time they've known it, but I didn't really think about it. Like when you tell your kid, like you see a rabbit hopping down the street and you go, look, a rabbit's hopping. Look at that. We used to think a long time ago that in his little head, he thinks, rabbit, R-A-B, not the sound rabbit, and he connects it with the animal. But they've now discovered that there's far more complexity in even a little child. You're saying hopping, and then he hears that ing and is thinking automatically, progressive tense, not obviously that word.
Yeah, right.
But that means something is doing something. Then he's taking that and parsing the whole thing and going, look is basically a command telling me to look at something. I'm figuring that out. And then in between there is something called rabbit, which is probably the thing that's doing the ing thing. And then the ing thing is probably hopping because it looks like it's going up and down. All of that huge complexity is entering into a young child's head so that they get it. And then we've seen that we talked about this a while back, even with a child learning eventually the ed means past tense generally. And then learning the word I went to the store, which is which is possibly earlier, and then correcting incorrectly, saying I goed to the store, because they've now learned the ed tends to be. And I mean, it's really weird that we can get all that in our heads,
Yeah. It's amazing. It's just incredible.
So for next week, Fletcher, we're going to give you can go through the next Phonotactic 10 rules and then explain them.
And start working on that list of, what was it, 75 billion.
Please. I'll have that back to you next time, I'm sure.
Thank you.
You're Saying It Wrong is part of the NPR network and is produced in the studios of KMUW in Wichita, Kansas by me, Fletcher Powell. Kathy Petrus records from her home in Armia, Spain, Ross Petrus from his home in Toronto, Ontario in Canada. Torrent Anderson composed our theme music, and our digital team is Beth Golay and Carly Cooper. You can find all of our past episodes by subscribing to the You're Saying It Wrong podcast wherever you get your podcasts, or by visiting us at kmuw.org. If you have a question for Kathy and Ross, if you'd like to suggest a topic, or you just want to reach out, you can email me at powell@kmuw.org or email them at kandrpetrus@gmail.com. You can also email us a voice memo of you asking your question. You might get your voice heard on air. If you'd like to do the same thing by downloading the KMUW app, you can do that and just click the Talk to Us button. You can find all of Kathy and Ross's books pretty much anywhere you get books, and a handful of them are also available on audiobook read by the authors themselves. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week.